Well, hey everybody, this is Chris DeFurio with Keys to the Shop. Welcome to another edition of Shift Break. Today's episode is brought to you by La Marzocco, who's been making espresso machines by hand in Florence since 1927. One of the amazing things about La Marzocco is that for almost 100 years now, their whole business has been you. You are their customer. You are the one they're trying to serve, to make successful. The espresso machine is the heart of your operation, and you want a machine that is not only beautiful, but is dependable, consistent, well-made, innovative, because things change in the industry, and La Marzocco has changed with it and has been a change agent in it through their innovative espresso machines. We're talking about things like the KB90 espresso machine with a straight-in locking portafilters. One of the favorites of mine that I've worked a lot of bar shifts on is the Linea PB. Beautiful, classic Linea profile with the updated technology of today to give baristas a full range of control over espresso parameters. And there's tons more to choose from over at lamarzocousa.com. And if you're going to the SCA Expo in Chicago, as I am, and I hope to see you there, go to La Marzocco's booth. You get the experience that La Marzocco's been on the road for a while, showing their latest innovations, and you can see all of that at their booth at the SCA in Chicago in April. So be sure to go there, and definitely, again, go to lamarzocousa.com or email them to find out more information about what espresso machine is right for your business. info@lamarzocousa.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rattleware. One of the things that you don't really realize is behind the scenes until you actually open your coffee shop is a ton of small things. You know, the word small wares is thrown about and we use it often, but we don't realize just how much the industry is held together by shot glasses, pitchers, whisks, spoons, pitchers, and everything in between. And you need to be able to count on those pieces of equipment to work just as much as you do the large pieces of equipment. That's why Rattleware makes smallwares that just work and are built for longevity, functionality. Go to rattleware.com to see what they have to offer and get your shop set up with dependable smallwares built by people who want to see you succeed long term. Again, that's over at rattleware.com. Okay, everybody. Well, today I am, once again, coming to you from the road. I'm on the road right now in Ohio, getting to do our last day of training with baristas at a client of mine's place called Fresh Start Cafe here in Delaware, Ohio. And we've done some really good training yesterday, covering a lot of issues such as hospitality, what we are defining quality as, unifying our standards across all the staff in all the cafe, and taking the good work that they were already doing and just leveling it up even more. So I'm really pleased with all of the espresso and milk progress that we made yesterday. And today is just going to get more intense as we do our drink drills and team practices and make the menu. And we're going to be tweaking things on the bar as we go. The owner and the GM are going to be taking a lot of notes, and this is just the start. It's just the start of the next step. Maybe a fresh start, if you will. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is this idea of tweaking things as you go, adjusting your bar, adjusting the arrangement of items on your bar. Now, there are certain things that cannot be changed. You might have a countertop that has holes drilled into it for lines of plumbing and electricity and knock boxes and stuff. You know, there's definitely options to move things around. You don't necessarily need to always keep the knock box there, but you know, we'd be reticent to actually, drill another hole into the bar for something if we don't need to. But the point is that for the most part, there are some minor changes that can take place across the bar that will actually create two things. One, it creates more efficiency. Now, you've already created an effective menu. When I say effective, we're talking about a menu and a concept and brand that is built specifically to achieve the result you want in terms of hospitality, what you want to serve your guests. You're proud of your drinks, you're proud of your flavors and products and everything else. Now, starting from there, how efficient are you in the process of making those things to deliver the speed of service that is reasonable for drinks? It's not a race necessarily, but after a certain point, the customer does start to scratch their head and wonder why things are so inefficient. Efficiency really does matter because inefficiency matters. Inefficiency is going to manifest itself in things like speed of service and also a feeling of unease around the people working behind the bar. We've always kind of seen that when you walk into a coffee bar. You've seen that, I'm sure, when you go into a coffee bar and people are just kind of bumping into each other. They are having a hard time making simple drinks. They are simple drinks. Hopefully, they're not actually designed to be super complicated. We want really nice drinks. We talked to Matt Foster, U.S. Coffee and Good Spirits champion, a while back about signature beverages and limiting the touch points that we have. How many touches do we have? In other words, how many tools do you need to grab and set back down and shake around and stir and clean and everything to make a drink? Efficiency matters there as well. Again, after you've determined that this beverage is something that you want to serve. But it is our job to create efficiencies around the valuable, impactful, and effective things that we're doing because we don't want to be inefficient. What that produces, again, is this unease for both the customer and the barista. And that is just as much a part of the experience you are offering your guests as the coffee itself. Unintentionally, as it may be, it is something that is literally consumed by our senses. You consume liquids, you taste it on your palate. People talk about you eat with your eyes. In all the senses matter here when a coffee shop is in operation. And so if you're not on this constant quest to optimize your coffee bar, to fix the small things, to adjust the flow, and your team is not on that same page with you, and you haven't engaged their expertise as the primary users of your systems in your bar, then you're missing a lot of efficiencies that could actually free up your baristas to have more presence of mind, to remember drinks better, to know where a customer went when we're, instead of calling it out in a loud voice 7 times, we could have been paying attention more. But actually what we're trying to do in an inefficient system is simply survive the rush, because there's all we can do to simply keep on top of the things that require unreasonable amounts of brain power, because we didn't engage our brain power in small doses across the life of our cafe. And so when I go to do these assessments, we adjust little things in many different places. Sometimes there's 1 or 2 really big things. And that, I think, is true about almost every coffee bar. In fact, if you're a barista listening to this, or if you ever have been a barista, you know that you wish there was something you could convince your boss to change about the bar because you and everyone else feels like this doesn't make sense. What keeps us from doing that is we don't have that culture of continuous improvement from the top down. So we don't feel like we have the right to speak to it. And we really don't have the emotional or mental capacity, the strength to actually take that on. I'm just going to clock out, and I'm going to have to clock back in and work on this bar. But you know what? This isn't my job. This isn't something I want to do long term. The incentive for actually bringing these things up is not so great that you can trust that everybody will simply tell you when things are not efficient. You have to explore. You have to ask. You have to create the platform for that feedback, or else you probably won't get it. And that's just the way it is. There's no magic here. It's simply owner and leadership driven intentionality to have that conversation. So the cultivation of that conversation, maintaining that flow of communication and that idea that we are a team that wants to fine tune and constantly be fixing the small stuff, arranging things the way that it works better and better, that really produces a wonderful experience for your baristas and for your guests, because the difference they feel when they walk into their shift, or when your customers walk into a shift that's going busy, yes, but well, with people who are actually calm. Yeah, they're moving fast. Yeah, their hands are making lots of beverages and things. But the calm, head up, confident service that you might experience at a busy cafe that is producing amazing and consistent beverages, that's not an accident. That's cultivated. It's a practice. It's a behavior. And it's something I would encourage you to do as well. So I wanted to just mention that to you today, here from the road, out on a cafe visit and training. And I hope that it's useful to you. As always, if you have any questions or comments, definitely email me, chris@keystotheshop.com. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the show and share the episodes on social media. And, YouTube is actually going to be a place you see more video content coming up. If you want to subscribe over on YouTube at Keys to the Shop, I think that would be awesome. Thank you very much, everybody, for your support over the years and for listening today. And as always, I will see you here next week for another episode of Shift Break, from Keys to the Shop.